Did you know you have the power to change your life? It all depends on your beliefs. If you have limiting beliefs, you limit yourself. I'm Becky Beach, and I'm here to help you overcome your limiting beliefs so you can design your dream life. This is the Becky Beach Show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Becky Beach Show. I'm Becky Beach, and today's guest, we have Katherine Rosenblatt. She owns this business called Mom to Virtual Assistant, and it helps moms become virtual assistants and also helps business owners with virtual assistant services. And most of them are moms. It's so great to have you today.
Thanks, Becky. I'm excited to be here.
Oh yes. So tell us more about your business. Like, how'd you get started doing this?
Yeah, so it was back in 2017. I had my first son, and I left kind of a corporate career. I've been working in healthcare and project management, and I was realized I wanted to stay home, but I did not want to do sales. And so from there, I went and I started Googling how to kind of make an income. What could I do? And I landed on a virtual assistant, and I went through a staffing firm, and it was just not really mom friendly, but I loved the work. I loved the clients. And fast forward a few years, about a year and a half, I started landing clients on my own. And then in 2020, the pandemic hit, and
Oh
I
yes.
was inundated with clients. I went from one to four in a matter of weeks. And all of a sudden, I realized I had no more bandwidth. And so I started reaching out to random moms that I had met at the parks. And I was like, hey, would you like to be a virtual assistant? Hey, do you want to be a
Wow.
virtual assistant? And
Yeah.
so we met on, I would meet them on our steps because we were in the like heart of the pandemic at that point. So we meet on our front steps. They'd have their laptop. I'd have my laptop, and I would train them up to be virtual assistants and place them with clients. And that was April, May 2020. And then fast forward. And so now I work with moms. I feel like nobody works harder than a mom. And so
Oh, true. So true.
I place them with clients and help them with their develop skill sets and go from there.
That is such an amazing story. So, what are some challenges you have as a virtual assistant that like a mom that might not be interested in? Like, what kind of challenges can they expect?
Yeah, great question. So sometimes this is a funny one, and this does not tend to happen as much with if your client is a mom, it does not happen as much, but sometimes clients want to do a lot of Zoom calls, and
Huh?
I'm always like, "Hey, I'm not always Zoom like appropriate, as a mom, whether you're like breastfeeding a baby, doing dishes, in just grunge clothes because you haven't showered in 3 days. And so sometimes people want to see you on a Zoom, and you just have to set boundaries.
Yes, that
But no,
setting boundaries.
I'm always like, hey, I'm available on phone call. I'm available via text, via Voxer, WhatsApp, email, making it where you're available, but you're not attached to the computer and you're not attached to your email.
So true. Yeah, for those that don't know, Voxer is kind of like a walkie-talkie. That's what I think it is. Like you can record a small message and then people can hear it later, or you can even
Yes.
type. It's kind of like a walkie-talkie. Would you
It
think
is,
like that?
I love Voxer. Yes, very well said. It is a walkie-talkie, and I love that, like, I can push a double stroller and talk at the same time and send messages to clients and VAs. Yes.
Oh, yeah, so true. So how can a business owner that's interested in assistant, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so they could go to my website, Mom to Virtual Assistant. There's a form. They can also email me at Catherine at Mom to Virtual Assistant or DM me, Mom to Virtual Assistant. And kind of like my model, because I really set it with the moms in mind, is you only pay for how many hours you work. So, like example, if a mom's interested in being a virtual assistant, they kind of tell me how many hours a week do they want to work, 5, 10, 15, and the client kind of tells me the same. And so if the mom's sick and has stomach bug, will like go through the entire house, and they can't, and she can't work, like the client doesn't pay. The client only pays for how many hours that virtual assistant works. And so it is a really good fit because I feel like life, especially now, is so unpredictable with what next week's going to look like. So you always kind of know about how many hours you're going to do. And the mom wants the income. They want the consistency in that. So they're going to really try to make it up, but there isn't the pressure of like, oh, you didn't work 10 hours this week, you have to do 20 the next week, that type of pressure.
Well, how much an hour can moms make, or what do business owners expect to pay?
Oh yeah, great question. So it depends on their skills for one, Becky. So like they can either start, from $14 an hour if they have like absolutely no skills, no background, no experience. And they can go all the way up from there. And so business owners can expect to pay anywhere from, you know, 15, $20 an hour to like about 30. It really depends. And one thing I will say, all virtual assistants are based in the US. So they're all in the US. I match them based on their skill sets, their
Mhm.
time zones. And that, a lot of these moms with a great resignation, like they like reached out to me and they're like, hey, I left my corporate job. I was working 60 hours a week. I don't
Ooh,
want a
yeah, horrible.
commute. Yeah, and they're like, I have an immune compromised family member. And so really helping them like kind of turn that situation into something more positive for their family where they're not paying childcare, but they're also able to make consistent income. Like I have like really enjoyed working with virtual assistants.
Oh yeah, it's just incredible because I was working 60 hours. You hit a nerve with me just now. I used to work 60 hours and I'm spending more time on my son's picture than I was with him.
Yes.
But you're giving these moms a way to stay home and they can just bounce their baby on their lap while they're typing and working.
Yes, and that joke, as a virtual assistant, like you work when you're free, nap time at night. Little kids go down at 7, they go to bed early, wake up early, check your email, see what's in there, try to get some things out. If you're at the park and a client emails you, just give them a virtual nod, being like, "Hey, I hear you. I got this. I'll be at my computer at 1 o'clock when I get back." Maybe you're at the children's museum or and that way you do have a life, but it's flexible and it's all you build your business kind of around you.
So what kind of tasks do the moms do, or what tasks the business owners expect to get?
Yeah, great question. So I joke that it really is anything. Some people want more personal tasks, like clients. Some clients want business. Some actually want to blend, which is kind of fun for a VA because that means you're doing a hodgepodge of things and you're never going to get bored. So it can be things. I have one client. She has her VA doing 10 hours a week of DMs, comments, engagement, just that on Instagram. She has around 350,000 followers. So this
Mhm.
VA can literally spend 10 hours a week just doing that. Some of them are doing more project management in Asana and Trello. Some of them are doing SOPs, so creating standard operating procedures. Some of them are doing more maybe they're doing like social copy, so they're taking a blog post and they're just splitting it up into like Instagram posts, creating Canva templates. Some of them even make calls. Like I have some TikTokers and they'll make calls on behalf of the client to high-end bars and restaurants and hotels to do photo shoots. So it really is fun because I can find someone. Like it's fun when I'm talking to a client, I'm like, oh, I have a virtual assistant that's going to be a great fit because they have these skills that you need. They just did them in a different industry.
Yes, that's really awesome because like a lot of people are in these jobs, these 9 to 5 jobs, and they're learning all these skills, and they could bring these skills to their virtual assistant career, especially
Mhm.
social media marketing. Because if you know how to use Facebook, Instagram, you can make a living, a real good living.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
So,
100%. I
yeah,
mean,
because there's some people that
it's
don't know
nice.
anything about it.
Right, and, like, some clients really wanna train up their VAs, like, they want them to be their right hand, and they say jump, and they say how high. Like, I have found that, like, the moms are really eager to learn new skills and add to their toolkit. They may not be an expert in all the social media platforms, or maybe they know some better than the client even. So it's really worked well in helping give moms also a purpose, outside of,
Mhm.
like, diapers and feeding schedules
Yeah,
and
yeah.
doctor appointments. It kinda gives them kind of their own little world.
That is just so inspiring. So what if somebody's not a mom and or they even a man? Like, can they still apply to your business?
Yes, absolutely. So yes, my brother-in-law, he's a stay-at-home dad, and he was always like, "I want to be a VA," and I'm like, "Come on." So yes, and I have people who aren't moms who are VAs, and they're just a broad range. I've mainly named it mom to virtual assistant because that's how I started my journey as a virtual assistant. I started as a mom looking for that. So yes.
Oh, great, because you don't discriminate like for like gender, like because yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea anyways. The business
Right.
discriminate.
Exactly.
That is so awesome. So so what do you think is this job really fun? Like, could you have like a lot of fun doing it, or
Yes, it
it
is.
is?
It is fun because one thing that I noticed was, during the heart of the lockdown, I was a virtual assistant managing different clients. And I am convinced that it gave me energy, it gave me joy. It helped me mentally too, like my mental health, because everybody was just in such a down place. But I'm over there able to like kind of compartmentalize the news and things because I'm focused on a launch. Like I had different clients in different industries and we have different launches. We're launching ebooks and courses and I'm doing blog posts, I'm doing social media. I mean, it is so much fun because you're kind of outside of what your day to day is. And I do hear that from moms a lot. They reach out, and what happens is moms will say, "Hey, I want to dip my toe into being a VA. I want to do 5 hours a week." And then I'm like, okay, in 2 months, they're going to reach out and ask for more hours because they love it. It's kind of like, oh, wow, this is so much fun. Like, I can do this when the kids are down. My husband's at deer camp, my
Yeah.
parents have the kids or they're at school. It really is something that you can make your own and like really kind of mold it around your life and your schedule. And it does sound too good to be true in that because I feel like what we're used to is being in an 8 to 5 corporate grind.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
it's
not that.
horrible, just
It is
horrible.
not that because you are a contractor.
Hmm.
And so your taxes are taken out at the end of the year. You receive a 1099-NEC. And
Hmm.
so as a contractor, the client cannot legally tell you when to work. So you work off deadlines and priorities. And, maybe you're going to get one blog post out a week. Maybe you're going to do 4 scheduled Facebook posts and Instagram posts a week. That's kind of how you're working. So it truly is as flexible as it sounds.
That's awesome. So you can even work at night too, like because then what if you take care
Hmm.
of your kids during the day? You could like just work at night while your kids are asleep. Is that possible?
Yes, and I have some people who, at 2 a.m., they're knocking out emails because that's just the time they wanted wanted to do it. It just depends on kind of your lifestyle. Or like some people love it when their spouse takes the kids to the park on Saturday for like 2 hours. And
Yeah.
it's almost therapeutic to be able to be like, I'm gonna work and do this. And I feel I get emails from moms all the time being like, Catherine, we were literally pinching pennies and this came around and now I'm like able to like buy myself some clothes I wanted or send my kid to soccer camp. It's just
Yeah.
nice. And it's also nice because you aren't having to tap like your family and friends. You are literally working with your clients, seeing how many, you get paid how many hours you work, which I feel like is also kind of an empowering feeling being more, you have more control over, I want more money. I'm going to work more hours. I'm going to get another client. And some VAs have 2 clients. One even has 3. So some people want more clients.
Oh, that's great. So how many hours can they expect to work a week?
Yeah, great question, Becky. Some start at 5 and I even have some who are going up to 25 hours a week. They love to
Like
work. A lot of
part-time
them, the
hours
people,
under 30, right?
yeah, and usually it's under 30. Like nobody's usually when they get over that, they kind of, if they are looking for over 30, then they're probably going to either look into like being an employee somewhere, mainly because of the way that that's structured. But yes, under 30 is usually about max. Most of the people who are around 25 do tend to either have little bitty babies who are doing, morning, afternoon naps,
Mhm.
or they have older kids that are in school, 8 to 3 type schedules. But you can do whatever works with your schedule. In fact, one thing that I did as a VA was I got my bestie down the street and I said, this was several years ago, I said, hey, if you're a VA, I'm a VA, why don't you be a VA? You're going to love it. So she becomes a VA and we would swap kids. So like I would take the kids on Tuesday mornings and that would give her free childcare for 3 hours to do work. And then Thursdays she would take my kids. And so then you're not paying a babysitter. Your kids are playing, always having fun with your friends at your friend's house. But it's
Mhm.
kind of it's just a nice balance to do that. And it worked really well for us.
Yeah, so something I was wondering when you first emailed me about this, because the way I found Catherine was she reached out to me and she wanted me to sign up for her service. And a thought that I had was are the moms reliable? Because I was wondering if the moms are reliable because they have to take care of their kids, and I wonder if they won't be able to do what I want. That's something I was wondering.
Yes, okay, they are. So I do a vetting process. I run them through an interview process. I do background checks. I do reference checks. And then, I mean, one thing that I have found is a lot of these women, Becky, are just moms who are hungry to work. They are at home in this season of life and they are ready. Like they are not slackers. That's one thing I have been I kind of thought that too when I was starting out, like, how am I gonna weed out the people who are slackers? And I do have things I'm like, okay, this person may not be able to do it, but like for the most part, it is very like very encouraging, especially as a woman, to see how many women are just ready to roll up their sleeves and just do it.
Oh yes, yeah, you bring up a good point because there's probably nobody as a hard worker as a mom. You have to actually be responsible for another person, another little person, and be totally responsible for this other person that lives and breathes. So if if you don't think a mom's reliable, then you got something coming because of course they are.
Yes. Yes, exactly. You're correct. It has been a blast to work with moms and see all that happen. So yes, so they can definitely find me at momtovirtualassistant.com, and that's also my handle on Instagram.
Oh, great. Yeah, I saw you have something in your shop. You got like starter courses. This so
Yeah.
started?
Yes, that's something I started like originally, and some people do take them. They buy the course and they'll do that. That's an option. You do not have to buy my course. You can also reach out to me because I am a placement firm. So like when you start, that's kind of how I started my virtual assistant jobs, where I went through a placement firm. It's easier to find roles that way. It's also easier to kind of like learn the business and learn the skills, is to kind of have somebody show you the way, kind of take you, under your wing. You can definitely make more in freelance doing it on your own. Like that's kind of like anything, when you break out on your own. But I think a placement firm is a very good place for someone to start when they are really a newbie and they have no idea what they're doing, to kind of give you realistic expectations. But yes, my course is out there. I also have templates. I have resume templates and email templates that they can use. So yes, if they're interested in that, they can definitely use that.
Oh yes, especially because on Upwork you have to have lots of reviews for people to take you seriously. So if you're a placement firm, then you could end up getting experience first. So I think that'd
Yes.
be really good for these moms.
Exactly. Yes. And it does and it also kind of lets you find your niche. Like, do you prefer copy? Are you more creative? Or do you like social media? And I have some people who do it and they're like, I hate social. I want to be more like administrative, more of a task rabbit type person. So that's kind of where I also help the client figure out what are their needs and their pain points.
Oh, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Katherine. I really appreciate you
Yeah,
being on
Becky.
today's call. So if you want to find out about more on Katherine, we'll have her website in the show notes at beckybeach.com/podcast. That's Becky Beach /podcast. And I'll have Katherine's information on there so you can get in touch with her and possibly be a virtual assistant yourself or hire one of her virtual assistants for your business.
Absolutely. Thanks, Becky. I appreciate it. I look forward to connecting.
Oh, sure. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Becky Beach Show. Please go to mombeach.com/podcast to learn more about my podcast and for show notes. If you want a 2022 free printable goal planner, please go to mombeach.com/subscribe. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a great day. Goodbye.